Wait, don't click away yet. Let me ask you something that might shake the way you have lived your entire life. Do you believe that feeling other people's pain makes you a better person? Do you think your ability to deeply understand others protects you from being hurt? Do you believe empathy is always a gift, never a burden? If you said yes to any of these, prepare yourself. Because what you are about to learn is one of the most carefully hidden truths in human nature. The world has told you a beautiful lie. It has told you that empathy is pure, that feeling for others is always good, that the deeper your compassion, the better your life becomes. But here is the painful truth nobody warns you about. Empathy, when given without limits, is one of the most destructive forces in a person's life. It drains you, it exposes you. It turns you into a magnet for the very people who will damage you the most. And the kindest, most empathetic people you know are often the most quietly broken. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He observed that those who felt too deeply for others were often the easiest to manipulate. The people who could not refuse a tear, the ones who carried every burden placed on them, the ones who lost sleep over the troubles of others, they were always the first to fall. Not because empathy is wrong, but because empathy without strategy is a wound that never closes. And in this video, I am going to show you exactly how empathy has been costing you in ways you never noticed. Let me be clear about something before we go any further. I am not asking you to become cold. I am not telling you to stop caring. What I am offering you is the truth about how empathy actually works in a world that does not value it the way you do. You will learn why your empathy attracts the wrong people, why it exhausts you, why it makes you a target, and most importantly, how to use it like a sharp tool instead of letting it bleed you dry. Empathy is not the problem. Untrained, unprotected empathy is the problem. The people who suffer most in life are not heartless. They are the ones who feel everything, give everything, and protect nothing. By the end of this video, you will understand the hidden cost you have been paying, and you will know exactly how to stop paying it. What we are going to break down today is the dark side of empathy nobody talks about, the way it gets used against you, the way it traps you in relationships you should have left, the way it slowly empties you out while everyone around you stays full. This is not a video about killing your kindness. It is a video about saving it from the people who have been quietly stealing it from you. Before we begin, drop this line in the comments. My empathy is mine to control. Let's start. Number 1. Empathy makes you easy to read. Think about how empathy actually works. You feel what other people feel. You sense their pain. You pick up on their emotional state without them even saying a word. This sounds like a gift, and in many ways it is. But here is what nobody tells you. The same skill that lets you read others also makes you incredibly easy to read. When you are highly empathetic, your face shows everything. Your eyes shift when someone tells a sad story. Your expression softens when someone is struggling. Your body language opens up when you sense vulnerability. You give off 1,000 small signals that say, this person can be reached, and the wrong kind of people learn to spot those signals from a mile away. There is a reason manipulators, users, and emotional vampires always seem to find you. They are not lucky, they are skilled. They have learned to identify empathetic people the same way a predator learns to identify wounded prey. Your kindness is not hidden from them, it is broadcast. And once they spot it, they move toward you because they know they can pull from you without much resistance. Most people never realize this is happening. They believe their empathy attracts good people. The reality is uglier. Empathy attracts everyone. The good people benefit from it gently. The bad people exploit it deeply. And if you have not learned to tell the difference quickly, you will spend your life giving to people who would never give back if your roles were reversed. I once met a person who was the kindest soul you could imagine. She could sense when someone was hurting before they even opened their mouth. People felt instantly comfortable around her. But here is what I noticed. The people most drawn to her were not the healthy ones. They were the most damaged, the most demanding, the most emotionally hungry people in any room. They could feel her openness, and they came to feed on it. She thought she was attracting connection. She was actually attracting consumption. This is the first hidden cost of empathy. It strips your armor in a world where everyone else still wears theirs. You are reading them, yes, but they are also reading you. And while you are gathering information to understand them, they are gathering information to use you. The advantage you think you have becomes a disadvantage the moment you meet someone who is studying you back. Machiavelli advised that one should never display all of their nature openly, because what is seen too clearly can be exploited too easily. The lesson is sharp. Empathy is not just an inner experience. It is a visible signal, and signals in the wrong rooms get used against the people sending them. Now drop this statement in the comments. I read others before I open to them. Number 2. Empathy makes you carry weight that is not yours. Here is something most people never consider. Every time you deeply feel someone else's pain, you take a little piece of that pain into yourself. It does not vanish when the conversation ends. It stays. It accumulates. And over the years, empathetic people end up carrying the unprocessed emotional weight of every person they have ever truly listened to. This is the silent tax of empathy. You hear someone's story, and a part of you absorbs it. You sit with a friend in their grief, and you carry some of that grief home. You comfort someone in their crisis, and your own nervous system shifts to match theirs. You feel lighter for them because the weight transferred. Some of it went to you, and no one ever told you that you were taking it on. Most empathetic people walk through life carrying invisible burdens that were never theirs to begin with. They wonder why they feel tired all the time. They wonder why peace never seems to last. They wonder why their own emotions feel cluttered with feelings that do not belong to them. The answer is simple. They have been quietly storing other people's pain for years without ever clearing it out. Imagine someone who works at a recycling center, but instead of metal and plastic, they accept emotional baggage from anyone who walks in. At first, it is manageable. But over the years, the warehouse fills up. There is no room for their own belongings. They are buried under everyone else's discarded weight. This is what happens to empathetic people. Their inner life becomes a storage unit for emotions that were never assigned to them. There is another layer to this that is even darker. Some people know exactly what they are doing. They unload their problems onto empathetic listeners on purpose. They feel better after talking to you, not because you offered a solution, but because they successfully transferred their distress into your body. You feel heavier, they feel lighter. The exchange was real, even though no one named it. And they will come back, again and again, because you are the cleanest emotional dumping ground they know. The worst part is that empathetic people often blame themselves for feeling so tired. They think they are weak. They think they are not handling life well. They do not realize they are handling not just their own life, but pieces of 15 other lives at the same time. No one can carry that much and stay whole. The exhaustion is not weakness. It is the natural cost of taking on what was never yours. Machiavelli observed that those who feel too much for others often forget to protect themselves, and the result is a slow collapse of their own strength. The lesson is that empathy must come with limits, or it becomes a quiet form of self-destruction. You cannot help anyone if you have buried yourself under the emotional weight of everyone you have ever cared about. Now, drop this affirmation in the comments. I set down what was never mine. Number 3. Empathy makes you forgive the unforgivable. Here is one of the most dangerous side effects of empathy. It makes you understand people who do not deserve to be understood. You see their pain, you see their childhood, you see the wound underneath their behavior, and because you can see all of that, you keep forgiving them, even when they keep hurting you. Highly empathetic people fall into this trap constantly. Someone betrays them. Instead of holding the betrayer accountable, they wonder what pain caused that person to act this way. Someone treats them poorly. Instead of walking away, they make excuses based on the person's difficult past. They keep handing out second chances, third chances, 10th chances, all because their empathy makes the other person's suffering feel just as real as their own injury. This sounds beautiful in theory. In practice, it is devastating, because while you are busy understanding someone, they are busy hurting you. While you are sympathizing with their wounds, they are creating new ones in you. Your empathy becomes the bridge they keep walking back across, even after they have broken every promise to never cross it again. There is a reason cruel people often surround themselves with empathetic ones. The empathetic person provides something a cold world never will: unending understanding. They will see the worst behavior and still ask, "What is really going on with you?" They will absorb endless damage and still believe in the possibility of change. They will rebuild what gets broken again and again because their empathy refuses to fully condemn anyone. And cruel people learn to depend on this, almost like a drug. Look at the relationships in your own life that have hurt you the most. Notice how often you found yourself defending the person who was hurting you. Notice how many times you explained their behavior to people who saw the situation more clearly than you did. Notice how often your empathy was used against you, not just by the person harming you, but by your own mind, talking you into staying somewhere you should have left long ago. This is the cruelest cost of empathy. It does not just expose you to harm, it convinces you to stay in the harm because you can understand the reasons behind it. Understanding is not the same as accepting. Compassion is not the same as endurance, but empathetic people often confuse the two, and they pay the price in years of their life they will never get back. Machiavelli advised that mercy given to the wrong people only encourages further harm, because those who exploit kindness will always interpret it as permission to continue. The lesson is direct. Your empathy must come with judgment. You can understand someone and still refuse to let them keep hurting you. Compassion and accountability are not enemies, they are partners. And when you keep them together, you stop being the person who forgives everything and starts being the person who chooses wisely. Number 4. Empathy burns through your energy faster than anything else. Empathy is not free. Every act of deep emotional connection costs you something. It costs you focus, it costs you energy, it costs you mental space. And while you might not see the bill in the moment, your body keeps a running total, and one day it will come due. Most empathetic people do not realize they are running on empty until it is too late. They get to a point where they cannot return calls. They cannot show up the way they used to. They feel guilty for needing a break. And they wonder when they became this tired version of themselves. The answer is simple. They have been spending an enormous amount of energy on emotional labor that no one ever paid them for, and the account is finally drained. Think about energy like a bank account. Every interaction makes a withdrawal or a deposit. A regular conversation might cost a small amount. A deep emotional exchange costs much more. Now imagine being someone who has deep emotional exchanges with almost everyone they meet, all day, every day. The account empties faster than they can refill it. Eventually, there is nothing left, not even for themselves. This is why empathetic people are often the most tired people in any room. It is not because they are physically weaker. It is because they are spending energy in places nobody else even notices. The friend who unloaded their week onto them this morning, the co-worker who needed help processing a conflict, the family member whose anxiety transferred through the phone call. Each of these took a piece of them. By evening, they have given so much that they have nothing left for their own needs. The hidden danger here is that empathetic people often do not feel justified in resting. They feel that as long as anyone in their world is suffering, they should be available. They cannot relax knowing someone they care about is hurting, so they keep showing up, keep listening, keep absorbing, and they keep giving from an account that has been overdrawn for years. The body protests, the mind starts to break, but the empathy keeps demanding more output. This is also why empathetic people often experience strange physical symptoms: constant fatigue that sleep does not fix, mysterious tension in the body, a nervous system that never seems to fully calm down. These are not random. They are signs of an emotional account that has been overdrawn for so long that the body itself is sending warning signals. The empathy that was supposed to make life rich is quietly making life unbearable. Machiavelli wrote that even the strongest resources collapse when spent without limit, and that the wise know how to preserve their strength for the moments that truly require it. The lesson applies directly here. Your empathy is a resource. It is not infinite. The people who waste it on every passing emotional request will have nothing left when the people they actually love truly need them. Strategic empathy preserves itself. Reckless empathy destroys itself. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My energy is sacred. Number 5. Empathy makes you overlook your own life. Here is a strange truth about empathy that most people miss. The more attention you give to the inner worlds of others, the less attention you have for your own. Highly empathetic people often know everyone else's dreams, struggles, and emotional patterns in great detail, but ask them about their own, and they hesitate. They have spent so long looking outward that they have forgotten how to look inward. This is not a small problem. This is a slow erasure of self. You become so skilled at understanding others that you become a stranger to yourself. Your friends know your support. Your family knows your kindness. Your co-workers know your patience. But who knows you? Who has spent any real time studying your inner life the way you have studied theirs? For most empathetic people, the answer is nobody, including themselves. The mind only has so much capacity. Every hour you spend deeply tuned into someone else's emotional state is an hour you are not tuned into your own. Over time, this creates a deep imbalance. You become an expert in everyone else and a beginner in yourself. You can read your friend's mood in 3 seconds, but you cannot identify your own feelings, even after sitting with them for an hour. You have outsourced your attention so completely that you no longer know how to bring it home. This is why empathetic people often feel lost when they finally get alone time. They do not know what to do with themselves. They feel restless, anxious, even guilty. Their mind keeps drifting back to other people's situations because that is where it has lived for so long. Their own life feels foreign to them. Their own desires feel unclear. Their own emotions feel muted, almost like they are watching someone else's experience instead of living their own. The cost here is enormous. While you have been deeply present for everyone else's growth, your own growth has been delayed. While you have been supporting other people's dreams, your own dreams have quietly faded. While you have been processing other people's pain, Your own pain has been buried under all of theirs. One day you wake up and realize that everyone around you has built a life, and you have built relationships to other people's lives. There is a difference, and the difference becomes painfully clear with age. Machiavelli advised that those who spend all their effort on the affairs of others lose their own ground, because no one builds two empires at the same time. The lesson is uncomfortable, but real. You cannot pour the bulk of your attention into everyone else and expect your own life to flourish. At some point, the attention must come back. The empathy must turn inward. You have to become as fascinated by your own inner world as you have been by everyone else's. Number 6. Empathy attracts people who will never match it. This is one of the most painful truths empathetic people have to face. The vast majority of the people who benefit from your empathy will never give you the same in return. Not because they are evil, not because they do not care, but because they simply do not have the same capacity. And you will keep waiting for an exchange that is never coming. Most people in the world are operating at a normal level of emotional awareness. They notice obvious distress. They respond to clearly stated needs. They show up when asked directly. But they are not picking up on subtle signals. They are not sensing the things you do not say. They are not noticing the small shifts in your mood that you would notice in them within seconds. This is not their fault. It is just how most people are wired. But for the highly empathetic, this creates a quiet, ongoing heartbreak. You give a level of emotional attention that almost no one is capable of returning. You listen with your whole presence. You remember the details that matter. You sense what someone needs even when they themselves cannot name it. And then you wait, often without realizing you are waiting for someone to do the same for you. But it almost never happens. People accept what you give, then go back to their own lives, never realizing that what you offered them was extraordinary. This is why empathetic people often feel deeply lonely, even when they are surrounded by friends, family, and partners. Their relationships are real, but they are uneven. They are giving emotional 5-course meals to people who, at best, can return a sandwich. The connection feels close from the outside, but inside, the empathetic person is starving. They are surrounded by people who think they are deeply known, while the empathetic person is sitting at a table where no one has ever served them. The hardest part is that empathetic people often blame themselves for this imbalance. They wonder why their relationships feel one-sided. They wonder if they are too needy or expecting too much. They tell themselves to be grateful for what they have, but the truth is simpler. They are simply giving more than the world is capable of returning to them, and no amount of giving will ever change that. The lack of return is not their fault. It is the natural mismatch between their capacity and most people's capacity. The shift comes when you stop expecting equal exchange from people who cannot offer it. You stop hoping the casual friend will become your safe harbor. You stop waiting for the partner who shows up at level 3 to suddenly arrive at level 10. You start giving in proportion to what you actually receive, not in proportion to what you wish you received. This is not coldness, it is realism, and it protects you from the slow grief of giving everything to people who can never fully meet you. Machiavelli noted that wisdom lies in measuring others honestly, because expecting more from someone than they can give is a path to constant disappointment. The lesson is to see people as they are, not as you wish they could be. Reserve your deepest empathy for the rare few who can return it. Give the rest of the world a kinder, lighter version. They cannot tell the difference, and you will save yourself years of quiet heartbreak. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I give in proportion to what is returned. Number 7. Empathy becomes a weapon in the wrong hands. Here is the darkest truth in this entire video, and you need to hear it clearly. Once someone discovers that you are highly empathetic, they have discovered a weapon they can use against you. Not all people will use it, but some will, and they will do it so smoothly that you may not even realize what is happening until years have gone by. This is how it works. Someone learns that you respond to emotional appeals. They notice that you struggle to say no when someone is in pain. They figure out that guilt is your weak spot, that you cannot stand the idea of being unkind, that your sense of self-worth is tied to being a caring person. And once they have this map of your inner world, they begin using it, not always with cruelty, sometimes with surprising gentleness, but always with results. They will time their requests for moments when you are emotionally open. They will tell stories of their suffering whenever they need something from you. They will use your empathy as a remote control, pressing the buttons they know will move you. And the worst part is, it works. Because your empathy is not optional for you. It is your nature. You feel what they describe, even when you suspect they are exaggerating. The feeling is real, even when the situation is manufactured. You probably have someone like this in your life right now. Someone whose problems always seem to come up at the exact moment you have something important happening in your own life. Someone whose emotional crises arrive in waves, always perfectly timed to disrupt your forward motion. Someone who knows exactly which words to use to make you stay, give, sacrifice, or forgive. These people are not just unlucky, they are running a pattern, and your empathy is the engine that powers it. The most painful realization for an empathetic person is that some of their closest relationships were never about closeness at all. They were about access. The person was not loving you. They were using you as a steady source of emotional warmth, validation, and free labor. The empathy you thought was a bond was actually a leash, and you have been tied to it for far longer than you ever should have been. This realization is brutal, but it is also liberating, because once you see it, you can stop it. You can begin to question the pattern instead of repeating it. You can notice when your empathy is being triggered on purpose. You can pause before reacting and ask yourself, is this real, or is this being aimed at me? The moment you start asking that question, the weapon starts to lose its power. Machiavelli warned that the strongest virtues become the greatest weaknesses when others learn how to exploit them. The lesson is that your empathy needs a guard, just like any other valuable thing in your life. Without that guard, the people who would never feel for you will use what you feel for them as the very tool that drains you. Strategic empathy keeps the door locked. It opens only for those who have proven they will not abuse what is on the other side. Number 8. Strategic empathy is the only empathy that survives. After all these costs, you might be tempted to harden yourself, to close off, to stop feeling for anyone, but that is not the answer, and that is not what I am asking you to do. The goal is not to kill your empathy. The goal is to evolve it, to take this raw, beautiful, dangerous trait and turn it into something that can actually survive in a world that does not deserve its full intensity. Strategic empathy is the only kind that lasts. It is empathy with a brain attached. It is compassion that has learned to ask questions before giving everything away. It is kindness that has finally noticed who deserves it and who does not. It is the same warm heart you have always had, finally protected by a sharp mind that can tell the difference between someone who needs love and someone who needs to be cut loose. Here is what strategic empathy actually looks like in real life. You still feel things deeply, but you no longer act on every feeling immediately. You pause, you observe. You wait to see if a person's actions match their words before you invest emotionally in them. You notice patterns. You notice timing. You notice who comes around only when they need something and who comes around just to be present. You make decisions based on what people do over time, not based on what they say in the moment. You also become selective about who gets your deep listening. Not everyone has earned the right to access your full emotional attention. Casual people get casual presence. Acquaintances get pleasant but limited engagement. Only the rare few, the ones who have proven their character through years of consistency, get the deep, focused empathy you used to give to everyone. Your empathy becomes a gift you choose to give, not a default you cannot turn off. There is something powerful about a person who feels deeply but chooses carefully. They are not cold. They are not bitter. They are not closed off. They are simply discerning. They have learned the hard way that empathy without discernment is a slow form of self-destruction. So they have built something better. They have built empathy with armor, empathy with eyes, empathy that knows when to step in and when to step back. And this version of empathy can survive a lifetime without breaking you. The people who learn this transformation rarely look back. They cannot believe how much they used to give to people who did not deserve a fraction of it. They cannot believe how much weight they used to carry that was never theirs. They cannot believe how exhausted they used to feel and how much of that exhaustion vanished the moment they started protecting their empathy instead of broadcasting it. The shift is dramatic, but it is also quiet. It happens through small choices made consistently over time. This is the path forward. Not a colder heart, but a wiser one. Not less feeling, but more direction. Not the end of empathy, but the beginning of its strongest form. And the moment you make this shift, the cost of empathy disappears, because empathy that is protected, focused, and chosen no longer drains you, it powers you. It becomes your greatest asset, instead of the slow leak that has been emptying your life for years. Now drop this affirmation in the comments. My empathy serves me now. Empathy is not the enemy. The unprotected, untrained, ungoverned use of empathy is the enemy. And until today, you may have been paying a price for your empathy without even knowing the bill was being collected. Now you have learned that empathy makes you easy to read by people who will use what they see against you. You learned that empathy quietly transfers other people's emotional weight onto your own shoulders. You learned that empathy can convince you to forgive people who keep hurting you. You learned that empathy burns through your energy faster than almost anything else. You learned that empathy can distract you from your own life until your life becomes unfamiliar to you. You learned that empathy attracts people who will never match it in return. You learned that empathy can become a weapon in the hands of people who study it. And finally, you learned that strategic empathy, empathy with limits and discernment, is the only kind that can survive a lifetime. None of this means you should harden. The goal was never to kill your kindness. The goal was to save it from the people who have been quietly draining it, from the situations that have been quietly using it, from the unconscious patterns that have been turning your greatest gift into your deepest wound. You do not need less empathy. You need empathy that finally knows where to point itself. Most people will never make this shift. They will keep giving and giving until they have nothing left. They will keep absorbing pain that was not theirs. They will keep forgiving the unforgivable. They will keep wondering why they feel so empty after a lifetime of caring so much. They will never figure out that their greatest virtue was, in fact, the very thing destroying them, because it was being used without strategy. But a few people, maybe you, will take this seriously. You will begin protecting your empathy starting tonight. You will notice the energy leaks. You will notice the patterns. You will notice the people who have been quietly draining you and the situations that have been quietly costing you. And, one decision at a time, you will reclaim what has been slipping through your fingers for years. The reclaiming will be slow, but the result will be a version of you that finally has the energy, the clarity, and the peace your empathy was supposed to bring in the first place. Empathy is power, but like all power, it must be controlled, or it controls you. Choose to control it. Choose to protect it. Choose to use it where it actually matters, on the people who actually deserve it, in the moments where it actually counts. So here is the question that will define the next phase of your life. Will you keep paying the hidden cost of empathy without ever seeing the bill? Or will you finally take control of the most valuable resource you have ever owned? The choice is yours. But now, at last, you understand what is actually at stake. Now, drop your final affirmation in the comments below. Make it a real promise to yourself. My empathy is strategic now. Speak it, mean it, live it. Because the truth is simple. Empathy without protection is slow self-destruction. Empathy with strategy is one of the most powerful forces a person can possess. The choice between the two will shape the rest of your life. And starting today, you finally have the knowledge to make that choice wisely.